Hey guys, how's it going? Today what we're going to do is we are going to learn how to measure with the microscope, okay? We alluded to a little bit before in another video, but today I'm going to actually show you how to do it. So here we go. You ready, Bones? All right. High five. All right, here we go. First things first, I'm going to turn on the microscope. Always got to turn on the microscope. Now what we're going to use is something called a grid slide. Okay, a grid slide I showed you before. It's just like a checkerboard on a slide. And what we're going to do is each box is worth 1 millimeter. We're going to measure two objects today to figure out how big they are. We're going to be measuring a fruit fly or Drosophila fly under low power. And we're going to take a look at some onion cells under medium power. And I'm going to show you how to do both. Okay? So we're going to take our grid slide first. This is what we're going to do. We have to find out what our field of view is. Our microscope is already set to low power. I'm going to take the grid slide. I'm going to place it underneath our low power objective, center it in the little circle of light called our field of view. I'm going to look down, I'm going to focus it, and I'm going to count one row of boxes that go across the diameter of our field of view. One row of boxes only. So I'm going to count, I'm going to focus it a little bit more using my coarse adjustment knob. There we go. I count 1, 2, 3, 4. I count 4 exactly boxes going across our field of view. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write that number here. Field of view equals 4 and 0.1 millimeters. Okay. Once we're done with that, we have to remember to remove the slide. Very important. You cannot have two slides on the microscope at once. So I'm going to remove the slide. I'm going to take our Drosophila fly, put it on the slide, and center it the best I can. I'm going to look through. I'm going to adjust it. It does appear upside down and backwards, and that is okay. That's normal for a microscope. I'm going to focus it. And now I'm going to estimate. This is an estimation. Everybody can have a slightly different estimation of how many they think can go from one side of the field of view to the other. So I can see our Drosophila fly is a little small, and I think 1.5 or 1.5 of them can go across the entire field of view. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug that number in to our formula. Field of view divided by the number of organisms that can go across. The rest is simple. Take out your calculator, plug it into your calculator. 4.0 divided by 1.5 equals a big, long, repeating decimal number that we do not need. Okay? I got 2.66666, and it goes on forever. But if you remember, we only need to go to the 10th spot. So we have to use our rounding skills. So instead of this being 2.66666, okay, we're going to round it to, Bones, what do you think? 2.666 rounds up to or down to? That's right, up to 2.7 millimeters. Always add a label. You do not want any naked numbers on any final answers of your work. Very simple way to find out how long or how big a smaller object is using a microscope. Now we're going to turn it up a notch. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find how big an onion cell is under medium power. The process is the same. Nothing changes. We're going to take our slide off, and we're always going to start with our grid slide. So I'm going to take our grid slide. I'm going to put it underneath the microscope under low power. I know I said we're measuring under medium power, but we always start under low power and work our way up. So now, I'm going to focus it using the coarse adjustment knob, and I see, just as before, the field of view is 4.0. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to click to the next power, which is a power of 10. 10 in the eyepiece, 10 in the objective lens. We're multiplying things 100 times as big right now. Now, since I zoomed in, it is changing my field of view. I'm going to see less of an object now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look underneath our field of view. I'm going to line it up and focus. And there is not as many boxes this time because we're getting closer to the object by using a higher magnification. So what I see is I count 1.5 boxes going across our field of view. That's it, 1.5. It's not a full 2, okay? It's not less than 1, it's 1.5. So what I'm gonna do here for our field of view now, for under medium power, is 1.5 millimeters. Now again, that's because we're zooming in. When you zoom in on something, you see less of it. Make sense? Good. All right, so now I have to reset my microscope back to low and take that slide off. Now I can take our onion cells, okay? I put the onion cell underneath our stage clips. I will center it in our field of view. I will take a look at our onion cells. They're already in focus. Great, not much that I have to do. Now what I have to do, because it's still under low power, I have to remember, since I want to know how big they are under medium power, I'm going to click up to medium power, see if I have to refocus, and I do a little bit. It came out of focus. I can't see the plant cells. So I refocus, and now I count how many plant cells go across. This one's a little bit easier because all the plant cells look like a big grid or a brick wall because plant cells have a rectangular shape. So it's a little less estimation, and I can just count going across. So I count one row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I count 6 cells that go from one side of our circle to the other, okay? Now, depending on what row you count, your answers may vary a little bit, and that's okay. So I've got 6 onion cells that go across our medium power field of view. I'm gonna take our calculator, I'm gonna plug in 1.5 divided by 6, hit enter, and it comes out to be 0.25 millimeters. Again, our final answers in science class, they only have to be rounded to the 10th spot, so we're gonna use our rounding skills again. So this 0.25 millimeters turns into, Bones, what do you think? Huh? That's right, Bones, 0.3 millimeters. And that's how you use a microscope to figure out how large something is using the field of view and this formula, okay? Take it easy, see you next time.